My name is Georgia. I'm originally from Greece, and I was out last night, and we all watched the game. So Inter Milan took 120 minutes to win over Barcelona, and I did 180 minutes to build an app. Just think about that. I'm one of the 25 Power Platform champions around the world. There are only 25. Microsoft recognized us with giving us this little purple card that you see at the end, and I do have some of them with me. So some lucky of you can get some. No? It's okay. You can all connect with me, but on LinkedIn as well. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Oh, there we go. So a little bit about me. I started my journey in Greece, where I studied applied informatics and technology management. And then I moved to Aberdeen in Scotland to do my master's in IT for oil and gas. And you will say it's very specific, and yes, it is. And that's where I started my journey with the company that I work for today. Was called Schlumberger. Today is called SLB. I started as an IT intern. And even from my interview, that's where my journey starts, with low code, no code. My then hiring manager and today mentor asked me a question that I had no answer to. And he said, Georgia, do you know anything about Power Apps and Power BI? I had no idea. I was doing Java, I was doing C++ at university, some R language, Python, nothing about Power Apps or Power BI. So normally I would say, no, I don't know. But what I asked is, are these Microsoft tools? Because I only know PowerPoint. So how I was hired for an IT internship for knowing PowerPoint, I have no idea. But I did. And I started my journey with Power Platform. The company was starting back then with Power Platform, and that's why they needed an intern to start using it and learn about it. The rest of my journey is a whole another story, which we don't have the time to go through today, but if anyone is interested, I can talk about it later. So a little bit of background story. I joined HSC function in 2019, late 2019, and I thought that I will be doing some analytics, some small applications for the 1,000 people that are part of the HSC function. But that was not the story. January 2020, COVID started as an epidemic in China. So it was not really known around the world. But we have operations in China. We are a big company of 100,000 employees operating over 80 countries. So obviously it was already impacting our company. And we got in a meeting with the HSC team, because I was working for the HSC HQ team in London. And we started talking about what can we do to help our employees, because now they are getting sick, they cannot go to work in China, right? So what can we do to help them? And the question came up from the VP of HSC, and he was like, Georgie, okay, we need a solution to inform our employees, to keep them safe, and to load with all the information, gather all the information we need in 24 hours. Yeah, that was the requirement. And talking about requirement, Alex is there. That was the requirement, Alex. I didn't have any other requirements, going back to your workshop. So normally I would get afraid. Here you see how my mind worked on one side, being afraid, saying, no, I cannot do this. How am I even qualified? I'm only 1 year in the company. I'm only using Power Platform for 1 year. And now they want me to build in 24 hours. But in front of the VP of HSC, sure, we can do this. Yeah, no problem. So what I did is I built the app. And you will ask me, why 3 hours? Well, I was not aiming for the 3 hours. I was aiming to just build it as fast as I can, because I had to launch it in 24 hours. And if you know anything about large corporations, it's not just about building the app. It's about going through the approval process, going through all the qualification processes for cybersecurity and data privacy. So I didn't really have time just to build. I needed to go through all those processes that usually take weeks. But I had to do it in a day. So we didn't have features. We didn't have a backlog. We didn't know what we want. So what you see on the screen is features that kept adding up throughout the year of 2020. But how did I do that? So the only way I could do it is low code, no code. There was no other possible way to do an app in 24 hours. So I used Power Platform because that's the only tool we were using in the company. And I thought of, okay, you know what? I've built over 50 apps during my internship, very small ones, but still, it's 50 apps that have different functionality. So why should I reinvent the wheel? I recycled screens. I recycled components from different applications. I was just copy pasting, and I was like, okay, I'll put them together, and hopefully, it will look good. And the next thing I did is testing on the go. You usually wait for an MVP one in order to launch it to users for UAT testing. And I was like, this is not going to work for me. I don't have the time. So I was building a screen. That was my MVP one screen. Go test it. I don't care if it's just a menu and doesn't do anything. Go test it and tell me if it's good. So testing on the go was key as well to get the app ready. And it is taking a village. It does need teamwork. So yes, I was the only one that could build, but we needed information to go in the app, and I was not going to be the one to gather all the information because, first of all, I don't know anything about HSC. I don't know anything about COVID. Not that anyone else knew, but someone had to find the information. So I did have a team. That communications manager of HSC was doing all the branding and giving me some icons to put in the app. The doctor of SLB was just gathering information about COVID, links, the doctor's information that we have around the world to go in the app. And stakeholder management. When I say stakeholder management, I don't mean the people that asked me for the application, because they had only one requirement: build a solution in 24 hours. So they will come back to me in 24 hours, say, is it ready? Right? But when I say stakeholder management, data privacy team, cybersecurity team, and hi everyone if you're there, very good people. But yeah, it does take weeks to go through those processes. So I needed to actually contact them before I even start building and say, this is coming, I need your approval as soon as I have it. So that's what I mean by stakeholder management. So my mind normally would go, okay, yeah, it's gonna work like a charm. It's gonna be fine in front of people. My mind was like, it's gonna break. Please don't break. Please don't break. They are using it now. Please don't break. And then obviously they were sending me so much data while I was still trying to build the database behind and build the screens. And they were sending me data and I was panicking. I was like, so much data. Where are they gonna go? When are they gonna go in there? But I was like, oh yeah, keep coming, keep sending the data. It's fine. I'm gonna figure it out. So what was the impact that this application had? And when we say impact, I don't mean the technical achievement here, right? After 24 hours of launching the application, we had more than 6,000 people using it, right? So you were gonna ask me, what did you do after you launched the application? I went to sleep. I did. And then I woke up with 1,000 of emails and messages to tell me that, oh, your app is being used, is amazing. We need more. Like, yeah, sure. It's fine. I built it in 3 hours. We ended up having more than 50,000 employees, more than 50% of the company using it every single day by the end of the pandemic. And yes, it was a great technical achievement, but what I want you to pay attention to is what the problem it solved. And we're going to talk about it in a moment. It wasn't just internal, though, success, because Microsoft paid attention to the application. It was adopted as the fastest adopted app back then. It was recognized by Microsoft in their Microsoft Power Platform. And 2 months later, in March, Microsoft reached out to us and said, okay, you have an application. Now is a pandemic. Now everyone needs an application. Let's do something together. Let's templatize that and figure out how we can give it to other people to use. So we shared our own application with them. And for 2 days, Microsoft, us, and the community, the other champions, the community that was using Power Platform back there, we did get together and we did test and test and test after test. And in 2 days, they launched their Microsoft Crisis Communication template. And they made it available for free for everyone. And it did have more than 4,000 to 5,000 other enterprises using that template during COVID. So the impact was huge for someone who was 1 year using Power Platform. So what is that I want you to remember out of this? Yes, there is technical achievement in there, obviously. but there is some impact. First of all, rapid innovation, right? You don't need years to innovate, and you don't need to know a lot of things to innovate. I had no idea about HSC. I was just 3 months in there. I had no idea what they are doing. But I didn't have an idea about COVID either. I just have to build an application that will help employees and save their lives. Simple thing, right? So I needed the right tool, the right mindset, and a little bit of courage, right? To step in and say, yes, I can do this. Even if your mind says, no, I can't. Adaptability, some quick thinking, right? You have to adapt. The world changes fast. It's not going to wait for you to innovate, right? So you have to adapt with it, change with it, be flexible. And of course, the willingness to pivot, to step in and say, yes, okay, I have an idea. And the impact of technology. We all like to use, and it's fun to use tools to build applications. It's very fun to build applications. But what is the impact behind an application, a solution, if you want, that you're going to build? What is the real impact it has on people's work, on people's lives? And I'll tell you a story, and I'm going to close with that story. When I left HSC to join HR, in 2021, we went for a farewell party with the whole team. And the VP of HSC was there as well. And he said one thing during his speech to bid farewell to me. He said one thing that I will never forget. And I hadn't thought about that back then. Don't think that this is something I knew back then. No, it's lessons learned. He said something that really stuck to my mind. He said, Georgia, I know you are very happy and very excited with all the things that you've created for HSC, and that the impact you had with the COVID app and how big success that was for SLB and outside SLB. But I want you to think of this. You didn't just build a great application. It was not just a great software, if you want to call it software. It actually saved lives. You saved lives. That was the problem you solved, right? And I might not be there giving CPR to people, but I was saving their lives by giving them information in a timely manner. I was there with my application to help them understand that, you know, there is a self-assessment in there, and yeah, I can go take it and understand if I have been exposed. There were no testing back then, right? So we gave them away a tool to say, oh, maybe I have come in contact with someone. And we're like, stay home, don't go to office, protect everyone else. So that's the thing that stuck to my mind, is not that I build an application, is that the impact of me doing it as fast as we did, even if I got scared, even if I eventually cried in my shower and said, okay, I did it, but how did I do it? It doesn't matter after you see the impact you have on other people. So going back to Marion's, and I don't know if Marion's here, yesterday she had a talk, it's about the problem you solve. It's not about the tool you use. You could use any of the tools that you guys are using. I had only Power Platform. Doesn't matter. It's about the problem statement. So to close up my speech here is, the end result of it is those little cards that you saw earlier on the screen, and I have them here. I got recognized by Microsoft as a Power Apps champ, not because I know how to use the platform in an excellent way, but because of the impact I have by building solutions using their platform. And I'm one of the 25 people that have this little card, and you can see me there. I'm in Seattle with Ryan, who is the Power Apps director in Microsoft. And I received the top photo just last week from my mentor, who went to Seattle to visit for a customer advisory board. And he said, oh, our photos are on the wall. Yes, in Microsoft Redmond campus, they have these little cards printed on the wall. I was like, okay, sure, it's fine. Just 180 minutes, guys, and can change your career. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.